Mexico volunteers traveled to Hualien to meet Master Cheng Yen and vow to help their fellow countrymen. We learn about a breeding program for Formosan landlocked salmon in Taiwan. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Siri Su. Thank you for joining us. After days of visiting Tzu Chi affiliates in various places, Mexico volunteers have come to Hualien to meet Master Cheng Yen. The master taught them to bring the experience back to their home country and help those in need. After visiting Tzu Chi affiliates for several days, Mexico volunteers have returned to Tzu Chi Volunteers' spiritual home, Hualien.
And I also asked his office to send us a bill.
After learning about the spirit of selfless giving of silent mentors, everyone is deeply touched.
The extreme gratitude and the selfless giving of people who spent, a lot of them were volunteers, Tzu Chi volunteers, and they spent a lifetime giving. And their final act in life is also giving. And that is such a beautiful act of selfless love.
At Jingsi Hall, the Mexico volunteers learn more about the origin of Tzu Chi, as well as the importance of Tzu Chi's 4 missions. Fourteen Mexico volunteers have returned to Jingsi abode to meet up with Master Cheng Yen, sharing their Tzu Chi experience.
In the aftermath of the earthquake, what I remember the most is the roster. When the volunteers saw me, they kept asking me for the roster of the affected residents. After coming to Hualien to visit Tzu Chi affiliates, I've learned about selfless love and giving. I cannot describe my feelings in words.
This group of volunteers who are unfamiliar with Buddhism have overcome the religious and language barriers. They also care about the earthquake victims in Hualien.
期待把这样的爱呢，真的落实在穷困或者是有需要人所需要的啊，我们共同呢，可以将来大家落实啦，把种子带回去，我们呢更有机会合作来帮助需要的。也期待你要真正的发这一份心，就造福当地。
After learning about the development of Tzu Chi Foundation, this group of Mexico volunteers also vowed to bring their experiences back to Mexico and inspire more people. In the Philippines, in the aftermath of Tropical Storm Kai-Tak, Tzu Chi volunteers provided monetary aid and work for a relief program for Ormoc DaAi villagers. At the beginning of 2018, Tzu Chi volunteers have given out monetary aid again. Let's take a look at how some residents are putting the money to good use. A lot of stories take place at the quiet DaAi village in Ormoc. Tzu Chi gives out monetary aid again because the volunteers saw the people's needs.
In the aftermath of Tropical Storm Kai-Tak, Tzu Chi volunteers gave me monetary aid so I could take my husband to see the doctor. He fell ill after the storm. Now that Tzu Chi has provided me monetary aid again, we can repair our house.
This young couple who sells roasted peanuts for a living have to raise 2 kids. They almost lost their source of income.
Since we could not afford to buy dry wood to start the fire, it was hard for us to roast the peanuts. We could only sun-dry the rosewood we picked from outside.
When we were worried, Tzu Chi volunteers gave us monetary aid and told us to use the money for meaningful purposes. Therefore, I spent the money to buy gas stove and gas so I can continue to sell roasted peanuts.
Now that the couple can have steady income, they can save up to help their son undergo the needed hernia surgery.
Tzu Chi's assistance for us has exceeded my expectations. I will put the money to good use so the volunteers do not have to worry about us.
At DaAi Village, more than 2,000 people share Michael's thoughts. They save 2 cents a month to help other people in need, and their gesture of kindness has brought liveliness to the village. In our previous reports, an outbreak of measles occurred in Indonesia's Papua province. Tzu Chi Indonesia chapter and the Indonesian military cooperated to bring relief aid by boat to this area. Because there are no Tzu Chi volunteers in the area, volunteers from Biak came to help.
Located in the tropical rainforest region of Indonesia's sparsely populated Papua province are many houses built above a marsh. Many of the 90,000 residents face poor living conditions, and Kabupaten Asmat, which has only one hospital and an OBGYN clinic.
Kabupaten Asmat has many indigenous tribes which face many challenges, including a dirty living environment. Both the health of adults and children is compromised. I believe that we need to provide health and hygiene education so they can live a healthier life.
In February of this year, there was a measles outbreak. The Indonesian military cooperated with Tzu Chi to host an aid distribution. This required working with volunteers from Biak, which was closest to the infection area.
We heard the news from Jakarta volunteers as they say that Tzu Chi has long-term plans to support Kabupaten Asmat. We're all from the same province, so we should help out at the front lines together. We should definitely take up the responsibilities of the distribution.
The goods distributed on this particular day include milk powder, oatmeal, dried food, sanitary items, medicine, and 400 nutritional supplements to give to undernourished children.
Help from the military and Tzu Chi's distribution has allowed these residents to receive some aid. I hope that in the future their health can improve.
Tzu Chi's 4 major missions include charities, as this distribution relied on Biak volunteers, and we pledge to continue doing this work and sowing this love.
Aside from the aid distribution, Biak Tzu Chi volunteers visited children in the hospital, hoping they can recover as soon as possible.
In the United States, TIMA members have been holding free clinics in Bakersfield, California for more than 20 years. The first free clinic in 2018 was held at a high school. A female dentist from Iran was so inspired by the free clinic, she vowed to one day serve her fellow countrymen. At a quarterly free clinic, volunteers have set up equipment to help farm laborers enjoy an orderly free clinic. After measuring their blood pressure and glucose levels, Cheng Yen spent some time sharing health tips.
You must give them enough knowledge so they will pay attention to eating a healthy diet, regular exercise, and maintaining good health.
For these laborers, their biggest worry is recurring pain. The TCM medical team is aware of such a problem.
Besides relieving their pain temporarily with the acupuncture, we also teach them some exercises they can do at home. This way, they would not suffer from pain. When they do feel the pain, they can also relieve the pain by themselves.
There's a female dentist from Iran serving in the dental section with her daughter. Learning from the free clinic, she is hoping that one day she can contribute to her home country.
I was telling my daughter, my dream is someday I can have something like this in my own country, in Iran. My dream is someday I can have all this stuff that you guys have. Organized at least go there twice a year and do that. And leave it for my dentist friend back there to continue it.
TIMA members have been holding free clinics in Bakersfield for more than 20 years. Not only does the free clinic help the patients both physically and mentally, the experience has also inspired the medical professionals. Many people know that the Formosan landlocked salmon is a treasure native species. Another feature is that it needs water below 17 degrees and it no longer goes to the sea. In Taiwan, a breeding program is now allowing to survive in 3 streams near the Xueba National Park.
At an altitude of more than 3,000 meters, these are the Hualien Mountains, which is a cold and clear valley, which contains a national treasure in the form of the Formosan landlocked salmon, whose habitat is the Hualien Stream. At the end of October, we follow this team going to Taiwan Stream, which is where stocks of this fish are. Everyone is looking forward to the release of these fish as they are getting packed and ready for delivery. These are 1-year-old landlocked salmon, which are quite energetic and have a total length of about 18 centimeters. A total of 100 are to be released. In the transport process, water temperature must be maintained between 10 to 12 degrees, as the entire process is escorted by a police car, as there can be no delays. Starting from Hualien at an elevation of 1,800 meters, we follow this team to the junction of Nantou and Hualien and Hualien, which is 3,000 meters above sea level. The whole trip lasted nearly 2.5 hours.
When we started in 1994 and 1995, there were only 253 left. In the past 20 years, the Taiwan stream saw some habitat improvement, and then we decided to do the release in these historical streams, allowing it to return to its previous glory.
This release is particularly significant because the Hualien Creek goes outside the Xueba Park and is under the Taroko Indigenous Tribal Area. This release is at 3,123 meters above sea level at the Army Special Operations Training Center Hualien Camp at the Hualien Creek Valley.
This place is the winter training center at about 2,900 above sea level, with the water temperature at about 12 degrees. After 1 year of monitoring, we found the food supply and forest vegetation is very good and is also a shelter from typhoons.
The reason why cooperation with Taroko took place is because it is hard to find areas in excess of 3,000 feet in elevation. It's getting hard to find appropriate areas such as the headwaters of the Hualien Creek to release fish.
This species does not know what is sepia and what is Taroko. We simply found a good environment for it and used the concept of an ecosystem to place it in an area where it could survive, sending them home.
Under the protection of national parks, there is no danger of such agricultural or water quality problems, so we decided to have the release here.
Over the past 10 years, Hualien Station Director Hualien has been aiding the species, leading groups to the upper reaches of the DaAi River, which is a historical stream, to find a suitable release site, with only the Luye stream and Lusan stream being suitable for larger populations, as they have yet to find a third stream.
At 1,800 meters above sea level, its original habitat has actually been destroyed, and I will not succeed if it is released. So I think the biggest crisis is the fragmentation of the habitat.
These two national parks are for the first time working hand in hand to ensure the future survival of the Formosan landlocked salmon. This will be the key to the fate of the species.
This year we are going to put 1,000 fish, which will be 18 centimeters in size. We expect them to multiply next year.
This is part of the stream which originated from Mount Hualien. It still maintains its natural beauty, but when it leaves the upper reaches of the Lishan area, it reaches dense gardens and orchards. The environment is severely affected by agricultural activities, and the water quality has deteriorated and is not suitable for the release of these fish. This means one must go about half an hour's drive from the center to Hualien, Taiwan.
How do Tzu Chi volunteers in Canada celebrate the Lunar New Year? Let's follow DaAi News to Vancouver and Toronto to take a look.
While the music is being played, volunteers and the senior residents pass forward bowls to exercise their hands and feet. Tzu Chi volunteers in Toronto visit Kennedy Lodge to pass forward love and also blessings for the Lunar New Year.
Last time when we came, we saw these grandpas and grandmas smiling and we were so happy. Today is the Lunar New Year, so we came to keep them company and also bring them some joy.
Some of the volunteers are also white-haired seniors. However, they are as energetic as ever.
I've put 50 years with the Master, so right now I'm only 21 years old and I'm full of energy.
Tzu Chi volunteers in North Toronto also bring their Lunar New Year blessing to the senior residents in this nursing home. The volunteers encourage them to do a good deed with the coin bank.
Every time you put it in, is you wish good for the whole world. Wish yourself, wish other people. So if you do every day, that's a really blessing.
When I received this box, the savings bank from you, that I decided to go upstairs to my apartment and fill it with the change that I'd collected this year.
Speaking about Lunar New Year, children love it the most. The Tzu Chi Academy in North Toronto also holds a celebration on the campus with all sorts of activities, so the local Chinese can also celebrate it.
When I came to Toronto, it was a coincidence to see Tzu Chi volunteers holding an event at its school in North Toronto, and we're lucky to attend this event. I've also seen the strong Chinese taste and people's support and love for Tzu Chi. Reza Moridi, provincial legislator of Ontario Province, hosts a Lunar New Year celebration and invites Tzu Chi volunteers to it.
Tzu Chi Foundation is a great organization. They're raising funds to assist people around the world, and I'm so grateful that they took the time to be a part of this event.
I'm glad to meet our Tzu Chi people and want to thank them for every contribution they do quietly for our society and community.
Tzu Chi office in Richmond, BC also hosts a gratitude ceremony.
There's the Jingsi aphorism, life becomes rich from benefiting others, and the wisdom life grows from self-enlightenment. Everyone is blessed, so let's do Tzu Chi missions. The more we do, the happier we are.
Very pleased. I had no idea of all the charitable work and how the frontline work was done by the organization. Very good. You see the results and you see all the people who benefited from what they were doing.
When the event is over, everyone also donates to the coin bank to help the earthquake victims in Hualien, Taiwan.
At Cité Soleil in Haiti, local priest Father Tzu Chi began providing meals to 200 seniors since last November. Tzu Chi volunteers distributed rice at this event along with 59 Jingsi folding beds. With the beds, the residents no longer need to sleep on the ground.
Solitary seniors gather here at the Cité Soleil Central Kitchen while they sing and perform ahead of a Tzu Chi distribution. Beginning November of last year, Father Tzu Chi began using rice donated from Taiwan to provide meals to 200 solitary elders. Tzu Chi volunteers learned that many of the elders sleep on the floor and could make good use of Jingsi folding beds as the distribution was held.
Elders here are quite touched and delighted to receive a distribution of 59 Jingsi folding beds. They are quite grateful as they believe the bed is quite solid and very comfortable, as they give thanks to Tzu Chi.
Tzu Chi volunteers demonstrate the many functions of each bed, and the local elderly give it a try, and the delight is clearly seen on their faces.
I'm very happy to receive this gift. This bed is solid and comfortable. I like you and thank you for helping us so often.
Grandma Marian is so delighted that she breaks out into a song of thanks, which affirms the support given by Tzu Chi.
In Taiwan, data from the Health Promotion Administration shows that 11.8% of adults over the age of 18 suffer from diabetes, and each year the number of diabetes patients increases by 25,000 new cases. One doctors association says that some 80% of those with stage 2 diabetes are overweight.
For those with diabetes who have a BMI greater than 27, their condition is especially risky, as many face even greater health risks.
An international journal conducted a study of more than 13,000 patients who were followed for 5.6 years. They found that those with type 2 diabetes who were obese, compared to those with normal weight, have 1.4 times the amount of cardiovascular disease, and their mortality rate increases 1.7 times.
The American Diabetes Association recommends those who have the disease and are overweight to control their diet and undertake more frequent exercise. It believes that weight loss can help improve conditions associated with diabetes.
In patients with increased fat, there is a clear increase in insulin resistance in the body, and the rise in the insulin resistance is also a very important factor in the pathogenesis of type 2 diabetes. Losing fat can significantly improve the insulin resistance in our bodies.
We recommend cutting 500 calories a day. Research shows that cutting body weight by 5 to 10% can improve insulin resistance. We recommend people to avoid excessive intake of fat, especially trans fat, as well as saturated fat and refined sugar.
51-year-old Mr. G shows the pants he used to wear when he was 90 kilograms. He has lost a lot of weight as a year ago a blood test revealed that he had diabetes. Now that he is controlling his diet and undertaking more exercise, his insulin resistance has lowered, and so has his blood sugar, which are obvious results of his improved health.
In the first month, I lost 8.8 kilograms, and afterwards I continued to lose weight. I think that I have lost a total of 20 kilograms, and now my pre-meal blood sugar levels drop below 100, and my glycated hemoglobin is now normal.
Limiting sugar and reducing weight has led him to learn more about good nutrition, such as fewer carbohydrates and more proteins. At the same time, he also learned some simple cooking techniques.
I didn't cut my portions as I eat the same as before, but now I just boil everything and braise it. I don't eat anything fried, and when it comes to rice, I just eat brown rice. Now I believe the simpler the cooking process, the better.
Doctors say that those who are overweight with diabetes may experience trouble when cutting down on meals or exercising due to blood sugar levels. As they always say, it is best to consult a doctor first.
Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.